Hi guys, welcome to another battle breakdown. Thank you for the support and feedback as well as sending me plays. Today, I have a play from a friend and I warn you that this might be quite a long one. A lot of mistakes were made here and I want to go through them and take a look at what could have been done better. And so to begin with, I've received feedback that I should let you guys watch the plays first, at least once. And because today's play is kind of long, I'll let you guys watch one round before breaking them down. So I'll go through them round by round rather than let you guys watch everything at once. Okay, so to start with, here we have Freya and Rakan. And here, oh, sorry. Right, I completely forgot to not break down my video, sorry about that. Okay, so Allied Rakan takes a free Shadow Ball. Some poking here. Freya should try to get in using her counter. Nice engage at first. I think countered a bit too early there. Time bender hit unfortunately. He's in a pretty bad spot here.
Thunder strike.
Okay, now that's the end of the first round. Let's try and find out why they lost this round. Okay, so to start with, let's look at their battle rights. So firstly, we have Charged Lightning on Freya, which is good against anyone basically, because the static stun allows you to stun an opponent whenever they use a counter, and they have static applied on them already. So for example, right here Freya lands her hammer onto Rakan, he uses his consume, and then Freya spaces onto him to make him waste his consume and stunning him briefly. So this would result in a favorable trade for Freya. And let's see, Rakan took Demonic Hunt, which gives his spacebar 2 charges, while the opponent Rakan takes Silence. So the difference in these two battle rights it does make a difference. Having this Silence means that Rakan will win out against melees, and considering that our friendly Freya and Rakan are both melees, the enemy Rakan made a pretty good choice by taking Silence. And the reason why you want to take Silence is because they are basically stunned for 0.7 seconds. Our friendly allies would be stunned, and they can't do anything, and they must take whatever damage or whatever setup for 1 second. And the opponent order took Lesser Chrono Flux, which is honestly a strange choice, because this is something you would take against perhaps a Jade or Taya, where a casual snipe that's pointed at you can actually result in a devastating comeback snipe, which will damage Jade heavily. So if I were Order, I would take Time Walker instead to deal with the pressure of 2 melees. Alright, so continuing the play. Right here, Rakan takes a free Shadow Ball. And so what they should look to be trying to do, and Rakan should be trying to move up a little bit and land his E. That's it, he tried to shoot his E a single time. He shot his right click. Rakan is a little bit scared of approaching his enemies, and Rakan should instead be trying to position a bit further up and trying to grab the order, especially because he did not take Time Walker, which does not reset his spacebar. So right here, Freya tries to engage on the enemy order by spacing in first. Actually, this may not be optimal because you may require the iframe. So instead, Freya could have used her counter on and waited a bit more patiently for Alder to poke him. And right here, he burns counter for nothing, and he knocks his opponent further away from him. This is bad. So counter is wasted. He could have maybe walked up a little bit closer to his opponent, but ends up pushing Alder further away by using his right click. And this is bad because quite a lot of your damage is dealt by simply being in melee range and bashing onto your opponent. Right here he's hit by Alder's E, and he takes a hefty amount of damage. Wow, it's like 28 damage right there. And so right now, it is a 2v1 with the enemy Rakan appearing. And this is an unfavorable trade. Right here, Freya has E up. So he doesn't have many tools. So right here, what I'll do is I will try to hug the wall and try to walk away. Okay, and staying in such a long extended fight is not good because you are not taking any green orbs, you're not taking middle orb. And speaking of middle orb, let's go back a little bit. And let's keep an eye out over here with the two Rakans fighting each other. Okay, so they have a training of abilities. And you'll notice that the orb is pulled in that direction. And their Rakan is now here. But the question is, why is the number of center orbs destroyed by blue team not 1? I think that Rakan could have used this time to easily take the middle orb uncontested, but instead he decides to pull the thing and he doesn't do anything to the middle orb, and he spaces in to engage onto Alder instead. This is not a good use of your iframe. You should instead be using your E to try and pull Alder in and use your spacebar as an answer to the enemy Alder's spacebar in this situation. Okay, so right here, this is just like a slugfest happening in the middle. Good shield and a good spacebar to dodge the Alder E. Good job on taking the middle orb. Let's see, why is Rakan taking so much damage? Okay, here's another big mistake by Rakan. So, right here, he's sort of in trouble. If I were him, right here the green orbs are going to take a while to respawn. So, what he could do is he could use his R and teleport over here. And maybe use the walls to his advantage and hide behind the walls and wait for the green orbs to spawn. Alternatively, he could try and make a rush for the middle orb, but that isn't guaranteed. I'd rather he have a breather and go a little bit further. Unfortunately, there is no incap there, and because he used one of his iframes aggressively, now he's taking way too much damage. And now he's super low and cannot help Freya in this battle.
I am lightning.
So there was a counter used early. Let's look at this little bit here. Okay, so right here, Freya was about to use her right click into the lesser chrono flux, which would have hit her. I think Freya is kind of panicking right now. Gets silenced. Good job getting the greens, but he's taking way too much damage. I believe that Freya could have been using his counters with a bit more discipline and try to pull the enemy Alder and try to deflect heavy hitting abilities such as Rakan's charged weapon attack. Here, counter is wasted, he gets Stone Glassed, he has his E cooldown up, Thunderclap, but he does not use it to dodge the Petrify. And he gets Petrified and there's a pretty easy setup, forced to burn his space. And right here there isn't much that Freya can do. Does so much damage. This silence plus increased damage from Rakan. Alright, so let's try and review that round. Some poor positioning as well as some using his abilities a bit too early. And trying to predict his opponent too much. That is the main mistake of Freya for this round. And for Rakan, the allied Rakan, I feel that he could have backed out a little bit earlier. And he has overstayed his welcome. And perhaps he made many suboptimal decisions throughout the round. So, one instance being not taking the middle orb, and there's very little emphasis on taking the middle orb from either team actually. Try to not forget about the middle orb, it is very important. As well as the side orbs, especially the health orbs. Okay, so let's move on to the second round. And I'll let you guys watch this one uninterrupted. Okay, here we go. Should have countered a bit earlier there. Now he's getting corrected. Nice dodge with his Thunder Slap. Unfortunately, he hits the Consume. Nice use of iframe to dodge the Petrify. Unfortunately, using counters at the wrong times. Yeah. So right here, Freya needs to practice some discipline with his counter in order to improve. Okay. So now let's break down this round. Wow, this round ended really quickly actually. Let's see. So right here, when Freya's walking in a straight line towards the enemy altar, you should have tried to counter here. But it's okay if that missed. I think he had no reason to burn spacebar. Instead, taking that first attack was okay. If he continued walking, because notice this distance is actually not too far. So if he continued walking, he could have countered Alder's next ability, which would have pulled him towards him. So now, because he didn't use counter first, he has no spacebar to catch up to Alder. And right now, Alder should be punished because he has no spacebar. And right now, Rakan should be looking to punish the enemy Alder. And he wastes his Shadow Bolt into the enemy Rakan's consume. It's not good. Double Petrify hit here. Nice dodge using an iframe. Rakan has 2 space bars. Should be trying to use his spacebar to try and dodge the Petrify. Counter a bit too early there. And E would... Okay, this E was kind of huge. Okay, because of this, by using his E a little bit too early and not dodging the Shadow Bolt, look at how much health he loses. 96, he loses some true health as well. Now he's chunked so heavily, there's so much damage he just took. And that is why some discipline on using your iframes is very important to playing a good Freya. This is another Petrify that could have been dodged and at the same time used to apply static. Actually, because of the positioning of Alder, you could have used, Freya could have used her EXE, Thunder Slam, and then right-clicked Alder into the wall to incapacitate him and quickly take the middle orb. And I have not even gotten to Rakan yet, so give me a moment. So right now, it is already become a 1v2. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit here. Why is Rakan taking so much damage? Let's try and find out the cause. So it all starts around here with the Petrify, okay? Rakan takes heavy damage from Shadow Ball due to being petrified. And although some of the damage was blocked by the petrification, he still takes a good amount of damage. Okay, enemy Rakan is pulled in. He has no charged left click. And he charges Shadow Bolt right in his face, but if the enemy Rakan's reaction was a little bit faster, he could have dodged our friendly Rakan's Shadow Bolt. And I don't think it was a good idea to stand still and channel your Shadow Bolt right in front of an enemy. So because of this, he's taking a lot of damage. His silence gets reset because his consume is hit again. Right click, silence, huge damage on the Freya. And right here, let's see. Okay, this is very strange right here. He uses his R to dodge the enemy Alder's E. So that's some damage avoided, which is okay. But right now, he is already in an unfavorable position. He should be trying to back out, grab the middle orb, grab some health, stop trading. If you are in an unfavorable position, try to stop trading and try to get back at an equal level or be ahead of your opponents. Unfortunately, counter here was missed. Petrify not dodged. Rakan here, let's see. Space twice just for distance. He gets right clicked to death because he has no more iframes. If our friendly Rakan was a little bit more patient and waited for the enemy Rakan to do something, for example use his charge left click or his Shadow Bolt, he could have used that to dodge the Shadow Bolt. Okay. Okay. Okay, so moving on. So, on to the next round. much damage right now. Rakan is not meant to be in the middle of the fight duking it out constantly. Oh, Olympic dive straight into the ultimate, unfortunate. Oh man, so much damage. Alright. At this point, there isn't much that the allied Rakan can do. And right here, this is something important. I know I said I'll let it play through completely, but first he misses his claw, and he wastes charged left click right here. Try not to do this because it is as if it's another ability, so try not to waste it like that. Alright, so let's break down the final level. There I am, okay. So, right click from enemy, Rakan misses. Friendly Rakan pulled in, silenced. He does not react in time, so he does not consume or use his spacebar, so he takes 3 damage. Okay. Okay, right here, Freya should not have right-clicked his opponent. Rather than going for, I assume he's trying to go for in-cap or something. Notice how much longer static is being applied onto the enemy Rakan. Our friendly Freya could have just stayed on the enemy Rakan and continued to left mouse button. Just try to deal as much damage as possible. Maybe even throw in a charge strike. And before the static wears out, use his right mouse button. Uses it a little bit too early, I think. Okay, so right here, I know it was a bit hard to react to this kind of thing, so maybe he could have tried to predict the Q. It is okay though. It is completely fine, but unfortunately he has no iframes now. And in the first place, he would have had iframes if he continued hitting Rakan. So he uses his spacebar onto Alder. And this is a change of target out of nowhere. Look at this. So he was focusing Rakan, and so you are completely aware of Rakan's ability cooldowns and what he has up and what he does not. So when you do this and you suddenly change your target, firstly, you do not know what the second target has up. Does he have his spacebar up? Does he have stone glass up? How much energy does he roughly have? You don't know. And secondly, our allied team here is not focusing the same target. So by suddenly switching to Alder, it is not like both of them are targeting Alder at the same time. This is like a one-on-one, suddenly another one-on-one. It's almost like I'm watching wrestling right now, and there's like some sort of tag team thing going on. Okay. So nice absorption of Shadow Ball from Rakan. Unfortunately, he gets silenced because our friendly Rakan didn't take silence instead. So you see, in a Rakan versus Rakan matchup where our friendly Rakan has 2 spacebars, he should instead be trying to use his spacebar to dodge the enemy's silence. This is quite important here. Unfortunately, right click missed, so there's no in-cap. No spacebar to dodge the Shadow Bolt, so Freya takes a lot of heavy damage from that right click. Okay, maybe an E would have been a bit better. Spacebar straight into the ulti. This is so bad, it takes so much damage here. This is very, very bad for Freya. It takes a lot of heavy damage because of that 2-second stun. Look at this. I think this is a result of panicking right now. Which I understand, I completely understand, I've been here before. So unfortunately, Freya jumps straight into the ultimate and gets stunned for quite a good amount of time. And he just gets pummeled, eats a Shadow Ball and like 2 auto attacks from Alder. That's so much damage. And Freya cannot survive that much damage, and did he have counter up? I think counter just comes up as he dies, unfortunately. Okay, let's look at what Rakan was doing throughout this entire game. Okay, he gets pulled in, silence. Spaces onto all the time bender's a bit late. I don't know what he's like. I think he's lagging right here. Spaces and he misses kind of completely. I think from how he's hesitating and stopping right in the middle here, I believe he is lagging. And so when he gets his bearings, he's now focusing on another target. Maybe focus on the same target. It would be more efficient. And right now you guys are just trading very inefficiently. Spacebar there to dodge. Allied Rakan, I'm not sure what his cooldowns were, but maybe he could have used his claw to try and pull that back. Or spaced into the AWP, because his spacebar does a little bit of a cleave, so he could have stolen the enemy AWP, sorry, the middle AWP. Okay, E misses, he instead gets pulled in. Friendly Rakan does not consume in time, gets silenced yet again, spaces in. This is very strange, he spaces in, spaces in, uses his consume, and then he immediately burns another iframe. So in that 1 second, he burned his spacebar, his Q, and his R. All three of his defensive abilities are now down. This is unfortunate, and you should not do this, because it leaves you very, very vulnerable if your opponents are keeping track of cooldowns. And now he's kind of helpless to help Freya in any way. Burns both of 2 of his 3 iframes to grab some energy orbs, and he just takes a lot of damage here. Has his time bender, has his shadow bolt time bended, and he tries to escape, and there's nothing much that he can do now. Yeah. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Kindly leave me some feedback so I can improve on this series, and I hope my run through has been informative enough. I know that this video has been kind of long, and I do kind of do these things improv so that I can produce these videos quickly. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of editing, and I'll try to cut out some empty space in between. So yeah, thank you.